A couple days ago, male feminist Joss Whedon, famous for writing and directing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Firefly, among others, deleted his Twitter account. Immediately it was speculated that it was due to the feminist backlash he received for Age of Ultron. He received a ton of insults and threats of physical violence. The thing that had these people upset, they watched the movie, and as feminists so famously do, interpreted things as racist, sexist, and transphobic. Apparently it had a rape joke, using outdated language and a reference to something only a fucking historian, or rape culture obsessor, would get. Also a damsel in distress trope, and a few other things that borders on spoiling the movie. I am going to link to a page filled with archived hate comments and threats tweeted at Joss. There can be no doubt that many, possibly most, of the attacks came from feminists and social justice warriors. You can tell due to the accusations, sexism, racism, transphobia, and no, these can't all be sock puppets. Feministing has an article calling Joss out for the rape joke, and Jonathan McIntosh himself attacks Joss and the film. Let's look over Jonathan McIntosh's tweets.
Age of Ultron had dialogue making fun of testosterone-infused violence, then proceeded to revel in testosterone-infused violence for 2 hours. Attention media makers, lampshading a thing does not then automatically give you free license to go ahead and use that thing in your media. Simply acknowledging something is not the same as critiquing it. Likewise, self-referential humor is not the same as commentary or criticism. The level of toxic hegemonic masculinity on display in Age of Ultron was off the charts. That fact passes without comment in most reviews. The core ideological underpinning of superhero stories is that it is inevitable, so good guys have a responsibility to be violent. If that sounds strangely familiar, that's because it's also the core ideological underpinning of U.S. military and U.S. police force actions.
So after getting attacked by feminists and social justice warriors including the likes of Jonathan McIntosh, Joss closes his Twitter account, but then the next day, claims the feminist backlash against him was not his motive to close Twitter. In a phone interview with feminist rag BuzzFeed, he said this.
When filmmaker Joss Whedon decided to delete his Twitter account on Monday, the day after his movie Avengers, Age of Ultron scored the second highest domestic opening weekend ever, it prompted a flurry of speculation about what, or who, might have driven him away. Whedon found one theory, that he left Twitter due to militant feminists angered over the film's depiction of Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, particularly galling, so much so that he decided to break his silence.
That is horseshit.
He told BuzzFeed News by phone on Tuesday.
Believe me, I have been attacked by militant feminists since I got on Twitter. That's something I'm used to. Every breed of feminism is attacking every other breed, and every subsection of liberalism is always busy attacking another subsection of liberalism, because God forbid they should all band together and actually fight for the cause. I saw a lot of people say, well, the social justice warriors destroyed one of their own. It's like, nope. That didn't happen.
He continued.
I saw someone tweet it's because feminist frequency pissed on Avengers 2, which for all I know they may have. But literally the second person to write me to ask if I was okay when I dropped out was feminist frequency founder Anita Sarkeesian.
What did happen, Whedon said, is that he chose to embrace his long-standing desire post-Age of Ultron to reclaim his personal life and creative spark, and that meant saying goodbye to Twitter.
I just thought, wait a minute, if I'm going to start writing again, I have to go to the quiet place.
He said.
And this is the least quiet place I've ever been in my life. It's like taking the bar exam at Coachella. It's like, I really need to concentrate on this. Guys. Can you all just? I have to. It's super important for my law.
Funny that he seems to need so much peace and quiet that he closes his Twitter account immediately after he gets some backlash from his own kind. Sure is a fishy coincidence. However, only Joss can know his real motive, but allow me to speculate. After a long career marked with promoting feminism, and then trashing Gamergate, referring to them as KKK daycare, calling them hate, and with Gamergate's false reputation as a group of misogynists that harass women, after all that, to then have rabid feminists attacking him in public, tarnishes the squeaky clean feminism is love and peace and stuff, image, and shows Gamergate's opponents as being very unreasonable and harassy, and on top of that, I don't think he was very happy existing on Twitter being attacked the same way, and for the same reasons. These rabid feminists and social justice warriors attack everyone else who isn't pure enough for them, but hey, that's just my speculation. But before Joss gave this statement, the hashtag #ComebackJossWhedon was started, and many Gamergaters supported him, though there were some of them saying things to the likes of "this is what you get for supporting those kinds of people." but those identifying as Gamergate had far more support for him than the Gamergaters that issue the "you got what you deserved." I have made a storify of the positive tweets from people identifying as Gamergate, and defending Joss and extending the olive branch, regardless of why Joss deleted his Twitter account. The thing that is important here, is to look at the angry tweets at Joss from rabid feminists and social justice warriors, and I want everyone to realize, that's how these people are. They are professional victims who wake up every morning trying to figure out how can I call myself, and my kind, a victim today. These people look at every innocent show, comic book, movie, video game, and just pick it apart, showing us how it's sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, and so on. If you make a video game where you go around shooting people, they will claim that you can shoot women, thus it's a misogynist game that glorifies violence against women. If you turn off the ability for women in the game to get hit, they complain that the women are only there as eye candy, window dressing, to appease the male fantasy. If the character is female, and beats up and kills men, then why was she white? Check your white privilege. If she was a black woman, it's portraying black people as violent thugs, and if they aren't complaining about that, then they are complaining she is too sexy, and that's objectification. If you make her fat and old, it becomes the fact that she looks female with her lipstick, makeup, and earrings, and that reinforces gender norms. It's patriarchy, of course. This is how they approach everything. Dear people in every avenue of media, understand this. You cannot pander to them. They will tear you apart eventually. There is no satisfying them. Another thing I want to touch on, as someone on Twitter mentioned, an article mentioned Joss Whedon quit Twitter after receiving harsh criticism, and this person said something to the effect of, "Yeah, I love how threatening physical violence is called criticism, but that's how it goes." Gamergate brings to people's attention that a journalist or developer is doing something unethical, and this is called harassment. Social justice warriors threaten violence, and it's called criticism.